All right, let's talk about a huge shift that's happening right now. We're in an era where artificial intelligence isn't just some neat tool anymore. It's a massive force that's reshaping our entire world. But as this tech just explodes in capability, it raises a really important question. Who's actually in the driver's seat here? Today, we're going to dig into a fundamental change in how we think about AI governance, moving from just reacting to problems to actually preventing them. It's time we stop chasing technology and, start steering it.
And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? This is the core challenge. AI is moving so incredibly fast, creating things we can barely even wrap our heads around. So how in the world do you build guardrails for a road that's literally being paved right in front of you? This isn't just some philosophical debate. It's the defining problem that regulators and innovators are wrestling with as we speak.
So to really get a handle on where we're going, we first have to take a look at where we've been. For decades, our legal systems have been in this constant foot race with technology, and let's be honest, they've pretty much always been a step or two behind.
Think about it this way. Most of our laws work like a penalty box in a hockey game. Something goes wrong, say a big data breach or a privacy scandal, and only then does the system kick in, handing out fines and punishments. It's a model that's built entirely on looking in the rearview mirror to deal with mistakes that have already happened.
Okay, so what happens when the thing you're trying to regulate isn't a car, but a rocket ship? With AI, that gap between a new risk popping up and a law being passed to handle it, well, it becomes a massive chasm. By the time we've finally reacted to yesterday's problem, AI has already cooked up 10 new ones. This old reactive approach, it's not just slow anymore. It's becoming genuinely dangerous.
So clearly something has to change, and it is. A whole new philosophy is starting to emerge. Instead of just penalizing failures after the fact, the new goal is to design for success right from the very beginning. It's a really crucial pivot from a mindset of punishment to one of prevention.
And this slide just nails the difference between these two philosophies. Over on the left, you've got the old way, the break it, then fix it model. It's a system that basically waits for the damage to be done before it steps in. But look at the right. That's the new, smarter approach. It's all about stress testing the system before it ever sees the light of day, looking for potential problems and building in protections from the ground up. It's really the difference between being a firefighter who puts out blazes and an architect who designs fireproof buildings.
And you can see this shift happening in the real world. Just look at Europe's GDPR. It's a landmark law, no doubt, but it's fundamentally sanction-based. It sets the rules for data, and then it imposes massive fines after someone breaks them. Now compare that to its successor in spirit, the EU AI Act. It's totally different. It's risk-based. It actually sorts AI systems by how much harm they could cause and then puts requirements in place before they can even be sold. It's a perfect example of this new way of thinking.
So let's see how this actually works when a country tries to build it from the ground up, because this isn't just a European thing. We can see how these same principles can be used to create a kind of blueprint for any nation, and we're going to use Indonesia as a really fascinating case study here.
Okay, so Indonesia has a pretty solid data privacy law, similar in a lot of ways to GDPR. But here's the critical point. Just protecting data isn't enough to govern AI. See, an AI system can follow every single data privacy rule to the letter and still end up producing biased, unfair, or even harmful results. The challenges that AI brings to the table go way beyond just data. And this isn't just about Indonesia, it's a hurdle every single nation is now facing.
So, what's the path forward? Well, the blueprint lays out a three-step approach. First, you absolutely need laws that are built specifically for the unique problems of AI. Second, and this is so important, innovation can't just be about being new and shiny. It has to be fundamentally aligned with core values, like human dignity. And third, all these new rules have to be grounded in the highest laws of the land, making sure they uphold constitutional values and our fundamental rights.
Now, zooming back out for a second, this whole case study points to a universal truth about how to govern AI effectively. It's not about finding one single magic bullet solution. It's about building a stable structure, one that's supported by three absolutely essential pillars.
So what are these three pillars?
Well, first, you've got the why, the legal principles that serve as the foundation. These are the ethical rules and societal values we want to build into our AI. Second, you have the how, the technical standards that turn those principles into reality. This is where the code meets the conscience, right? We're talking about things like data quality, making models transparent, and security. And finally, you have the who, the institutional oversight that actually holds everyone accountable. These three aren't just suggestions. They are the essential, non-negotiable parts of a stable and trustworthy AI ecosystem.
So, at the end of the day, the magic word is integration. This quote really ties it all together perfectly.
To build rules for a future you can't predict, you don't make a rigid, fragile law that's going to break. You build an adaptable system. A system where law, technology, and human oversight are in a constant conversation with each other. That, right there, is how we stop chasing technology and finally start to steer it.